Seal. A name that has become synonymous with timeless music and an iconic voice, a voice that once captured the hearts of millions. With unforgettable hits like Kiss from a Rose and Crazy, he rose to fame in the 90s, becoming one of the most respected artists of his generation. His voice, powerful and soulful, was heard all around the world, and his presence on stage left fans mesmerized. For a time, Seal was the golden boy of the music world, with every performance a display of his immense talent and magnetic charisma. However, as Seal approaches his 62nd birthday, the narrative of his life has shifted. The man who once filled arenas with his presence now leads a quieter life, far from the constant media attention he once commanded. Today, Seal is a man who has faced the passage of time with a mixture of grace and sadness, confronting personal struggles that have largely gone unnoticed by the public. The once bright star now lives in the shadows of his past, and as his journey into his 60s continues, the reality of aging in the public eye seems to weigh more heavily on him than ever before. Seal's rise to fame was nothing short of meteoric. The 90s saw the emergence of a unique voice, one that was rich and haunting, filled with emotion and pain, and capable of transcending the music itself. His hit song Kiss from a Rose, which was featured on the Batman Forever soundtrack, became an anthem of the decade. It was a ballad that defined an era, with its ethereal melody and Seal's signature vocal delivery making it unforgettable. The song's success was monumental, earning him multiple Grammy Awards and securing his place in music history. But beneath the glamorous exterior of fame, Seal's life was anything but perfect. His personal journey was marred by challenges that would follow him for years to come. One of the most public of these struggles was his marriage to supermodel Heidi Klum. Their relationship was a spectacle for the media, portrayed as the epitome of a fairy tale romance. They were the it couple, high-profile, admired, and seemingly untouchable. Yet, as time went on, the cracks began to show. The public divorce in 2012 left a mark on Seal that he never fully recovered from. Despite the outward appearances of a perfect life, the turmoil behind closed doors would define the next chapters of his existence. The emotional toll of the breakup, combined with the intense media scrutiny, cast a long shadow over Seal's life, and as the years have gone on, he has found himself more isolated from the world he once knew. Now, as Seal nears his 62nd birthday, he lives in a vastly different world. The man who once commanded global attention now finds solace in solitude. Where he once thrived in the spotlight, his public appearances have become far less frequent. Although Seal still occasionally performs, the events are fewer, and his role in the music scene has gradually diminished. His concerts, though still resonant with the same haunting beauty, carry a different energy, one that speaks to the passage of time and the fatigue that comes with it. There's a certain melancholy that now accompanies his performances, as if the joy and vitality that once came naturally to him have been replaced with an almost somber obligation. Fans who once knew him for his electrifying stage presence now see a man who seems to have aged not only physically but emotionally. Seal, once larger than life, now seems to live in the shadows of his own past. In interviews, he has been candid about the loneliness he feels, despite still being surrounded by people. He talks about the isolation that accompanies growing older, especially for someone who was once in the public eye. The loneliness is almost palpable, and there's a quiet sadness in his words, as if he's trying to reconcile with the fact that the world he once knew is no longer the same. The fame and attention that once felt so comfortable now seem like a distant memory, and it's clear that the transition into his later years has been a difficult one. Aging is never easy, especially when you're in the public eye. For most of us, aging is a personal journey, something we experience in the comfort of our homes, surrounded by loved ones. But for celebrities like Seal, aging happens in the spotlight, where every wrinkle and gray hair is scrutinized, and the passage of time is made all the more painful by the public's expectations. For Seal, aging hasn't been just a physical experience, it's been emotional and mental as well. While he may still look handsome and distinguished, the years have taken their toll on him. His once youthful appearance has softened, and his once immaculate features now carry the subtle signs of aging. His voice, though still beautiful, carries a weight that wasn't there in his youth. It's a voice that has weathered decades of fame, personal heartache, and the struggles that come with it. And while Seal still performs, his gigs are less frequent, and his music is no longer at the forefront of the charts. The world has moved on, as it always does, and with that comes the stark realization that he is no longer the household name he once was. The music industry has always been one of the most unforgiving places, and for someone like Seal, who rose to fame in a different era, finding relevance as an aging artist has proven to be a daunting challenge. He has to confront the truth that he is no longer in the limelight, and the validation he once received from his fame is now out of reach. The emotional toll of this shift is compounded by personal struggles that have followed him throughout his life. Seal has always been open about the challenges he faced growing up, including the emotional scars from his difficult childhood. His struggles with lupus, the condition that left him with visible scars on his face, became a constant source of vulnerability. The bullying he faced as a child, due to his appearance, left him with a deep sense of insecurity. Though Seal has always spoken with pride about overcoming these physical scars, it's clear that the emotional wounds have never fully healed. His physical appearance may have changed, but the emotional scars remain, and they continue to define his sense of self-worth. The world saw Seal as a symbol of strength, his voice an emblem of resilience. But behind the scenes, Seal has always battled with the feelings of inadequacy that stem from his childhood experiences. And now, as he grows older, these unresolved emotions seem to resurface more frequently. In many ways, aging has forced him to confront the parts of himself he once tried to ignore. His public image, once so perfectly curated, now feels like an illusion, and the vulnerability he once hid behind his music has become more apparent than ever before. Even though Seal has found some solace in his children, his emotional isolation is still very much a part of his reality. The relationships he once held dear, particularly with Heidi Klum, are no longer a part of his life, and the absence of these relationships has undoubtedly left a void that remains unfilled. His children, though a great source of joy, cannot fully replace the deep emotional connections that were once a part of his world. His love for them is evident, and they have been a constant source of support, but the loneliness he feels, especially in the quiet moments between the chaos of everyday life, remains. His connection to his fans, though still strong, doesn't seem to alleviate the sense of isolation that has plagued him. It's as if the weight of his past, his broken marriage, and his fading career have become a heavy burden that he carries alone. The fame that once defined him now feels like a fleeting memory, and with it, a sense of disconnection from the world around him. Seal's sense of identity has been tied to his public persona for so long that it's difficult for him to find peace in the absence of that recognition. As he steps further into his 60s, it's clear that Seal is still struggling to find his place in a world that has moved on without him. Yet, despite all of the challenges that Seal faces, there is a glimmer of hope. His music, though not as commercially successful as it once was, remains a powerful tool for self-expression. Seal's artistic focus has shifted away from mainstream success and instead centers on authenticity and connection. The music he creates now is more introspective, more personal. It's as though he is trying to reclaim the joy he once found in creating music, not for fame or fortune, but for the simple act of creation itself. There is a certain peace in the way Seal approaches his craft today, a recognition that the glory days of his youth are gone, but that music at least, still serves as a form of therapy. And while his public appearances may be fewer and farther between, he still holds a special place in the hearts of his fans. The affection and admiration they have for him are palpable, and there's a deep sense of gratitude from Seal toward those who have stuck by him through the years. The man who once seemed untouchable now appears more grounded, more at peace with the passage of time, though the scars of his past still linger. As Seal nears 62, he is a man who has experienced the full spectrum of life's joys and heartbreaks. He has lived through the exhilaration of fame, the devastation of loss, and the quiet solitude that follows in the wake of it all. His journey is one that many can relate to, a journey of self-discovery, of learning to embrace the inevitable passage of time, and of finding meaning in the things that truly matter. While Seal may no longer be the superstar he once was, his legacy is secure. His voice will continue to resonate with those who knew him in his prime, and his music will remain a testament to the artist he was and still is. Whether or not Seal finds peace with his past, only time will tell. But one thing is for certain, he will always be remembered for the voice that touched millions, and for the man who, despite everything, continues to search for redemption in the quiet moments of his life.